Welcome back, dudes, for episode 4. My name is Aloha Nick,
This is J. Rye LA.
and the dudes are here to talk about the theme park wars.
Yeah, this is our 4th episode, so thanks for listening and thanks for checking us out. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all of it. Fortress of SoliDudes. Thanks for checking us out.
Just want to give a major shout out to all our fans that have been reaching out to us and all the listens. Thank you so much.
Yeah. This is fun. We're glad that you're digging it. So we decided to talk about theme park wars. So here's what sort of prompted it, right? We spend time in the theme parks a lot, especially in LA, right? This is a LA-based show. So here's what's going on at the moment, right? Disney is quickly putting together Pixar Pier. They're putting together Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Knott's is building. Universal just made an announcement. So it's theme park wars, man. There's a lot going on, and who wins? Everyone in Southern California and everyone who visits Southern California, because they're all competing against each other.
Absolutely.
Making new product. I freaking love it.
It's amazing.
Yes. Where do we start?
We have to start with, Disney.
Yes.
Disney does it right. And
the king.
What we're going to talk about first is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
That announcement was made, right when Disney acquired the rights to Star Wars and George Lucas films.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was in 2014, but we don't fact check here, so roughly that time.
Oh, yeah.
And, the blueprint was on there, and, Southern California was lucky to be one of the 2 homes for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the other being at Disney World in Orlando.
Yes. Yeah. They're putting it in the what used to be the Disney MGM studio. Now I guess they just call it the Disney Hollywood studio, or I forget the name of it now, but
something like that.
Who cares? It's Florida.
It's Florida.
Yeah.
Crazies.
Foof. We're talking about Anaheim, and of course Anaheim is getting Galaxy's Edge first. So yeah, and I mean it's really like starting with this just makes it unfair because everything else we're going to talk about after this pales in comparison, because this is Disney's like giant kiss my ass
right
to the theme park industry, because it's like no one's going to be able to beat this. This is the biggest movie of all time.
It is.
And
biggest franchise,
right,
everything.
And so then they're making this land, and like nothing's going to, I mean, I'm assuming it's going to go well, right? But
I have a hunch.
Nothing is going to, I love theme parks. I know. Like,
I love it.
Nothing is gonna. I mean, nothing's gonna top it. Like this is just. It's already guaranteed winner, and it's got a year before it's gonna open.
Yeah, it's really funny. I feel like Universal really set the standard when they're like, we're gonna do Harry Potter, and they almost like showed their cards too early in a game of like blackjack or poker, and Disney was like, oh yeah, well fuck you, we're gonna build Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's gonna be bigger and better and more in depth, and it's arguably on a franchise that people care about more.
Yep.
I love Harry Potter. My kids love Harry Potter as well, but Star Wars is better.
It is. I mean, tomato, the storyline's better. They have Harrison Ford, Daniel Radcliffe. You can have him.
Yeah. Well, and that franchise of Harry Potter just, I mean, it was great, but it ran out of gas. And like, I don't think it's going to stand the test of time like Star Wars will, because Star Wars continues.
Yeah, and that's the thing kind of about Star Wars, it's an adult coming of age story. So it's about younger people, and it goes into being an adult. Harry Potter is about kids. It's pretty much about kids. Yeah, it's fun if you're an adult, but like
wait, what is Star Wars about?
Star Wars is a coming of age story. It's about
oh my God, I thought it was just about freaking black and white stormtroopers and Darth Vader.
Clear your mind of everything you know, Jason.
That was easy.
It was.
Because it's pretty empty up there.
Again, if you reference Coachella episode number 2, that really fills that void.
Yes.
But getting back onto, the theme park wars, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to be an experience. Yes, there's going to be 2 major rides there, stuff that's never been seen, but it's more about the experience, people in costumes, the theming, fully submersive environment of being in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, I'm curious to see too. Like, are they going to have like dry ice in some of the drinks? In the cantina type of a vibe. Like yeah. How far is Disney going to take this? Because this is it. This is your. Star Wars has been around now for 40 years, 41 years, right? So like. This is the first actual representation in person that people for 40 years have an expectation that has been building for. what the F are you gonna do with it? Holy crap.
And then again, this is where Disney wins. They don't build a replica of something you've seen. Yes, there's going to be things that they borrowed from the Cantina, um, the Millennium Falcon, for instance.
Right.
But the land itself is something you haven't been seeing. It's something new. It's current to this time. So you're not going to be able to judge it against the Hogwarts Castle or whatnot at Harry Potter. This is going to be completely original. And if there's one person who can do it or one company, I'm so glad it's Disney. Thank you, Bob Iger.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the thing about I think it's also cool is because they're so genius, they've already been marketing Galaxy's Edge to you,
Oh
whether
my
you
gosh.
realized it or not. So the fans, get it. But like, as soon as episode 8 came out,
A
right, which was how long ago now?
few months ago.
Right. Was it summer or was it Christmas?
I want to say Christmas time.
I already forgot.
It was
but
so good.
yeah. Well, no, it was so good, but
Yeah.
my timing,
Just
my,
don't
my
remember.
brain isn't working there. But episode 8 came out. Disneyland updated Star Tours and updated Path of the Jedi. And then when you're on Star Tours and Star Tours concludes, the new way that it concludes is it lands, Star Tours lands in Galaxy's Edge.
Boom!
Now, it doesn't tell you that, but again, when you look at the artwork and you've been paying attention like us nerds here do, we know that, like, okay, they're already getting us used to this new place that's going to exist in one more year.
Can I have a complete honest moment with you?
Just this once.
I'm an annual pass holder to Disneyland. I had no clue that's what it was. Ashley and I have been going on that ride for years. I had no idea they were updating for Galaxy's Edge until I went with Jason over here, and he Jedi mind tricked me.
Dude,
My mind was blown.
ever since, it's okay, man. A lot of people didn't get it, but I'm just saying, like, that's Disney's genius.
No, it is.
They're marketing to you sometimes when you're not even like understanding. Even when you and Ashley, your girlfriend, you're like, you guys are huge fans. So like for that one to get past you even shows you that like their Jedi mind trick game is super strong.
It is. And major shout out to you. You blessed us with that knowledge, and we had no idea about the Path of the Jedi that's playing in that theater in
That is
Tomorrowland.
so underrated.
It was amazing. For anyone who doesn't want to sit through 12 movies or whatever they're at, 10 movies, go see this.
Well, shame on you for not wanting to see 12 Star Wars
No, I'm
movies,
just saying,
number one.
I've
But
seen
I
them
get
all.
your
I've seen
point.
them all many times. I'm just saying, for someone who wants to play a quick catch up to get to see a Han Solo movie,
Yep.
go to Disneyland. 25 minutes, it'll blow your mind. The merch booth is on its way out. I guarantee you will buy something.
Path of the Jedi basically takes all the movies and just sort of like it encapsulates the whole vibe of what Star Wars is about.
Right.
And it just gets right to it. And the theater still has some of the effects from the Captain EO time when the theater was there, and also when
Honey has Shrunk the-
yes, exactly. And so you've got the wind and you've got the lights and you've got the seats rumbling and all that. So it's they did an amazing job with it. So anyway, shout out to Path of the Jedi. But
that is amazing. Ashley shit on Star Wars for years. I've been trying to get her to watch it. She watches with Jason, buys a Yoda backpack and a T-shirt.
Hello. Conversion complete.
Disney, hook my boy up a little bit.
Yeah,
come on.
That's all right. Disney's gonna invite us to the opening of Galaxy's Edge.
Okay, so we
mark my words. Disney is going to invite us to the opening of Galaxy's Edge.
Putting on that wax. You guys hear that? What day is it today?
What is today? Today, technically, it's May.
It's May. So we'll just say May.
Our record dates don't match the release dates, so let's.
I don't really wear a watch, so
yeah, exactly.
But we have the two major rides coming to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge: the Millennium Falcon ride.
Yeah.
And what's the other one called again?
The other one, well, one is the light and one is the dark. Right. So the other one is the
like battles.
It's here again, no fact check, right? But
right, it's that one.
Right, it's the one with the pasty guy with the red hair. He's going to be in charge of it.
Yeah, and I know Kylo Ren's going to be a big part of it. I cannot believe we cannot remember the name right now.
Yeah,
but there's supposed to be a scene where there's
it's
full size.
It's because it's midnight somewhere.
AT-ATs. Oh my god, it is midnight. But there's going to be full size AT-ATs shooting lasers and stormtroopers that are animatronics, and it's supposed to be the largest amount of animatronics in one room for Disney. So
yes, so it's gonna be fantastic. We know that, we get that. We've been talking about Star Wars for a minute if you follow us, because again, it's the biggest deal going on in Disney right now. let's talk about the other contenders. In order to be a theme
Yeah.
park war, there have to be other contenders. So who's next?
Well, you know what? I'm still going to keep it in the Disney family and just go 100 feet the other way into California Adventure.
Right.
I mean, opening Star Wars Land or Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to take people from all around Disney and funnel there. Tomorrowland will open up. Adventureland will open up. But we're worried about the neighbors at California Adventure. They needed to do something big to get people to keep going there.
Right.
And
So they just finished. Sorry, they
Yeah.
just completed Guardians of the Galaxy, which
Right.
again, both of us were completely against. But now that it's open, we both love it.
It's
Freaking love it.
amazing. It's a great
They
story.
did a great job.
Again, it's here special. We have the only one here in California, and that's what makes it special. Yeah, we had the Tower of Terror, and that ride was great, but it was a knockoff and a shitty knockoff of an original, and now we have our own footprint here in California, which is great.
Yep, I agree. I agree with you. We did not have the best one because they squeezed it in on a smaller budget by giving us a dumbed down version of it. It was still great, but yeah, but Guardians is great. And now we've got Pixar Pier. Now again, Pixar Pier, stupid name, not
Terrible.
necessary. I'm so tired of like the boner for Pixar, and we have to like force it on everyone. They like the movies already. You don't have to keep forcing this stuff. But I do love the idea behind Incredicoaster because now that I've seen what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm okay. California Screamin', amazing ride.
Yep.
Not a darn thing wrong with it that you would need to change.
No.
But why not add some storyline
Exactly.
on my favorite Pixar movie?
Mine too,
The
bro.
Incredibles.
Really?
Absolutely. It's the
I didn't know
best
that.
freaking movie that Pixar has made.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Screw Toy Story having, all the different versions of that. Enough.
I honestly, I think they started the superhero movie franchise. They made this huge movie, introduced the first black African-American superhero.
Yep.
Shout out Samuel L. Jackson.
Frozone.
My dude.
Yeah.
But
Woman, where's my suit?
he's the best. They started it. Brad Bird, the director, did such a fantastic job. The characters, the storyline is dark. It gives you the 70s feel with how retro everything looks in the movie itself.
It's in a class all of its own.
But let's talk about the obstacles in turning a roller coaster into a theme ride and creating a story. Like, what are the obstacles that they're going to have to do?
Well, right out the gate, it's a complete outdoor ride. So it's
Yep.
it's tough to do storytelling when you're number one outdoors, and number two, you're dealing with all sorts of multiple speeds.
Absolutely.
You've got the slow part going up the hill. You've got the fast parts going down the hill. You've got the launch. You've got the loop. It's a lot of different stuff going on. And yeah, so I think as we understand it, there's going to be a brief bit of storytelling as you're, getting on the ride, turning the corner before the launch, over the water.
Should we give him a spoiler? Tell him what it is?
Okay, go ahead.
I think this is kind of exclusive.
You might spoil me.
Oh, snap.
Ah!
Well, the storyline for the ride is basically the Incredible family is at California Adventure for the grand opening of their new roller coaster, the Incredicoaster.
Mm-hmm.
They have 3 kids. The youngest one, Jack, is an infant, can't ride the roller coaster. So there is a babysitting section ran by Edna Mode, who's babysitting off to the side. Basically, the family is on the roller coaster, and Jack goes missing and goes wild with his incredible powers along the ride. And you're gonna encounter each of the Incredible family members through a different tunnel while traveling at high speeds.
You said that way better than I ever could have.
I've been practicing.
Good work.
Thanks, dog.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really excited about that ride. Again, I didn't think it needed anything, but once I heard what they were doing with it, I'm like, okay, like that's like great.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, it's much better than even like Goofy Sky School when they remodeled that, or the Silly Symphony swings. They just like slapped on. It's the same freaking ride. You just slapped a couple things on it. It's not. It wasn't that interesting. This. Guardians of the Galaxy and the Incredicoaster, they're really going deeper, on the reface.
Right.
So I think I have a lot more respect for it.
I'm so excited. And it's the only shame I see with the Pixar Pier. Incredicoaster is going to be fantastic. Toy Story Mania is already a fan favorite. It's a fun ride.
Right.
That's half the pier. I just hope the next half of the pier can be on par with those two.
Well, yeah, but you're right. But what else? I mean, because really the rest of it is a bunch of refacing. So unless they come back and put, the ride in the Helix that they've been
Hmm.
talking about, or they build another ride backstage like they did Toy Story, where they just pushed something out,
Right.
into the space that didn't exist before. None of that's really like confirmed that that's like happening right now. So that
Yeah.
like some of that rest of that I think is going to be future. I think they're hurrying to try and get done June 23rd.
Yep.
Um,
The
but
week after the movie
but
releases.
still, Disney on its half-ass day is still killing everybody else on their best day.
No,
So let's talk about the announcement that was Universal Studios. Hey guys, we're here at the Universal meeting. What are we gonna do? I don't know, but we should have started like a year ago.
right. Again, always playing catch up. It was the 25th anniversary this week for Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Great franchise. One of my favorite movies, top 5 favorite movies all time, the original Jurassic Park.
One of the most iconic movies of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
And yeah, and sometimes it's a little odd the way that it gets treated. Like I don't feel that I almost feel like they're again. I know a lot of people at Universal. This is no personal knock to any of my friends there, but I almost feel like Jurassic Park is robbed by being aligned with that company.
yeah.
I don't feel that it gets the respect it deserves.
I mean, that's again, I hate to bring everything back to Disney. Disney does, what they do. Jurassic Park, the ride was announced. What does Disney do? We're going to make Indiana Jones and make it 50 times better.
Yep.
It's a whole.
And they did.
They did. They win. That was their rebuttal. I mean, yes, one is on water and one is an indoor dark ride. But realistically, those were two adventure movies that came out at the exact same time as far as rides are.
Right.
And it wins.
And Jurassic Park was fantastic when it opened. It's basically the same ride structure. It's a big raft splash ride. Again, not that original in its incarnation. Like Knott's Berry Farm, had a ride very similar to that. Not at all themed. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. Magic Mountain had the same ride too. They all had the exact same ride. Put a bunch of people in a giant fat, boat and dump them into water. Okay,
Yep.
they all had the exact same ride. Now, when Jurassic opened, it was great, but it's fallen into disrepair, and it's quite embarrassing, to be quite honest. And I love the movie.
Yeah.
Again, I love Universal, but like we just got to be honest. Like,
But it's poor.
they let it go.
It's absolutely, but it's poor storytelling on their part to begin with. They, I think at the same time they were putting out the movie, they were in production for the ride, and the ride is not based on the movie. It's based on the book. So if you haven't read the book, you would be like, why are we sitting in a raft?
Well,
Book reference, bro.
Well, here's one of the other misses on it as well. So, okay, if you spent time in Walt Disney World, for example, like when you go on now again, the Great Movie Ride that is now gone as well.
It is gone.
Excuse me, beef jerky belch. Excuse me. Dudes have gas. All right.
True that.
So in Florida, the Great Movie Ride, which I think is one of the best attractions I've ever seen in my life, still to this day, and they had animatronics. So you'd be going through like you were in this vehicle and you were experiencing the movies, right?
Mhm.
Like as they were happening around you. So there were these giant scenes of The Wizard of Oz and Alien and Indiana Jones and Singing in the Rain, and you were like it was happening around you as you were going through, right? But to make it even better, they had live actors in the scenes to help bring them to life
Yep.
with all the animatronics. So that's part of what I feel like Jurassic Park missed. It's like the original Jurassic Park was, version 1.0. And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, well, yeah, here's the same mechanical dinosaurs doing the same back and forth movement, fighting over the popcorn. And here's the giant T-Rex at the end coming out through the water.
Amazing.
And you can
Still
see,
gets
and
us.
you can see he's just a head though. Like you don't,
Yeah.
it's not the rest of his body. He's just swinging out at you on a harness. It's like, it's obvious. It's
Right.
They missed some things. They could have absolutely had some actors.
So they should hire Jeff Goldblum to like sit on the top of him and be like,
They could have a
life will find a way.
They could have a Jeff Goldblum running through that part at the top.
Right.
Like it's like they know how to do this stuff. They
Gotta hate I'm right.
For years. I don't hate you, right? You're always right. But for years, Knott's had like the stunt show and the
Mhm.
sound effects show and all these things where they showed you how they had made movies. So why not make your biggest franchise you're aligned with like feel more like the movie as opposed to we're just on a
Yeah.
boat ride with some broken down animatronic dinosaurs.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. So they announced this week for the 25th anniversary, that Jurassic Park, the ride, will now be rebranded as Jurassic World.
Right.
So they're closing September 3rd with reopening January 1st, 2019.
Yep.
It's very ambiguous. That's all it really states. What is going to happen? Are they going to tear the ride down and start over, or are they going to just refurbish it?
Absolutely not. They're not tearing it down. There's no
Good.
freaking way. There's no, well, the timeline won't allow it. You can't tear down and rebuild in 3 months.
Yeah.
It's a reface.
Well, I mean,
It's a reface.
I hope that's the case. My biggest concerns are this. The ride itself is amazing for Universal, and it's unique to Universal for it having animatronics. Everything there in the last few years has become a screen. I think the only other animatronic
So tired of the screen
that is there
out.
is Jaws, and that's been there since the inception of freaking Universal.
Yes.
So for it to be the only other animatronic ride, please do not get rid of it. Please do not put screens everywhere. A little bit more Chris Pratt would be nice, but no screens.
Yeah, no screens, but they're gonna go screens when you're inside at the top. It's gonna happen.
You think so?
Yeah, guaranteed.
So they're gonna rip that T-Rex out of there?
I don't know about that part, but there's a lot that you're inside. Even just the ramp up is really long.
It is. And those two Raptors that come out barely ever work. I mean, that ride has not worked properly since 1998.
And you know what's really fascinating about that is that's another thing that it has in common with Indy. They were built around the same time,
Yep.
and they were so balls out and so complicated. They were too complicated for their own good. Because Indy by far is a better ride,
Mm-hmm.
no question. But at any given time when you ride that ride, something isn't working, and it may be obvious and it may be not. But there's just so much
Going on,
happening. Something's always
Yep.
a little off.
You're so right. Every ride experience is a bit different.
Mm-hmm. Part of that's intentional, and part of it is like mess up.
It's a unique ride experience.
Yeah, right.
Sure, thank you.
Read the brochure.
But it's pretty interesting to hear this, though. In the article that they released today, Universal Studios says, on the River Raft Adventures, get doused as a colossal Monosaurus dives for a great white shark for a snack. But the real danger lies ahead when the brutal Indominus Rex escapes its enclosure and is about to be prepared by a T-Rex. Are they really going to have that, or is it going to be a screen?
I don't know how they're going to fit, a dinosaur that's 30,000 times the size of a human
Right.
in that tiny footprint of a ride. There's no pool that could even look like a SeaWorld pool.
I'm thinking the Mosasaurus will be at the very end. Once you land and you're out, you think you're in the safe zone, because that's the only. I mean, I have no idea how deep it is, but it looks like it's the only plot of actual land with water.
Well, they splash you in the beginning with when the dinosaurs are just sitting there chewing the weeds and
Right.
stuff.
But there's land on both sides.
Yeah. But maybe the final drop is going to be that. Maybe the giant thing jumps out of the water, wink, wink, on a screen when you're at the top, and it bumps your boat over the edge, and that's why you fall and you splash or something.
Oh, snap!
I mean, maybe that's.
Are you predicting that right here?
Well, I'm just. Look.
Tell the dudes.
I'm trying to be respectful of Universal, but I also know Universal like cheaps out. So when they promote it, Universal is also they're a little flimsy with the facts too.
Right.
Flimsy fact.
Flimsy fact number 1.
Yeah.
Go, Jason.
Okay, so when they promoted Fast and the Furious, they said it was a ride. It's not a ride. They
That's
kept
true.
promoting it as a ride, and they kept showing like really misleading footage, and I was really like not cool with that, because like again, like I said, I know a lot of people there, and do a lot of promotion and do a lot of work with them, and I'm like, hey, that's not cool, because
No.
like it's not a ride. It's again another screen.
Yep.
And the tram is sitting still and the screens are going around, and like you guys are great at that, but please don't say that it's something that it isn't. So that's the only part that makes me, well, it's not the only part, but it's one of the parts that makes me nervous about this quick remodel.
Right.
I mean, for crying out loud, Big Thunder Mountain was closed for a year.
Yep.
Because they took out every inch of track. Like there's no way Universal is
No,
closing
no, no.
Jurassic Park for 3 months, and it's going to come out and be like a completely new ride. There's no way.
It's just like it questions my whole thing with Universal again. Trying to respect them. The park is fun. They're dealing with whatever land they can get with, but the real question is this: why are you waiting? You know Jurassic World 2 is coming out this summer. Why are you waiting till after the summer to present it? Why wasn't this on the books for this year? Have it come out, I don't know, with the opening of the movie.
They're behind. They're
A,
behind. I
the
can't
billion dollar
answer.
franchise.
I don't want to point fingers, but I feel like that it's a universal thing that they're always behind. Even by the time Harry Potter finally got to California, the movie franchise had already been over
For a while.
at least 5 years, at least.
Yep.
So I was already like, okay, yeah, it's cool, and my kids are going to like it, but we already saw it in Florida.
And I think that's something that Universal and Disney are both learning. And that's why Disney, I think this could be the very first ride, the Incredicoaster, will be the very first ride to come out with a movie. Have you seen that before? I mean,
Well,
the
that's a trick. That's a trick question, but this is they're getting smarter about it, and I think this is going to be great. And again, that's why LA is king and Disneyland is king, because we're getting all that stuff. No one else is getting that.
Yep.
Disneyland and Anaheim gets the best treatment, and I freaking love it.
It's the best weather, and if people can make the theme park tour. You go down the 405, you can do Universal, Knott's, Disneyland, SeaWorld. You can knock 4 or 5 parks out in a week if you really wanted to.
Yeah, this is the mecca for theme parks in indeed. And again, let's mention one more thing. So our other friends, Knott's Berry Farm, also a contender in theme park wars. Now, here's what I really love about Knott's. Knott's started as a family park. It was low key, also run by a Walt, Walter Knott, Walt Disney. They were friends. Their parks opened, close to the same time, and they were sort of competing with each other at the time.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. So they were family. They were like family-friendly parks. Eventually, Knott's got bought out by Cedar Fair, and that's where they started plunking down, roller coasters on top of the Indian teepees and stuff. It got a little tacky there for a while. But here's what I like about Knott's is like Knott's doesn't try to be something it's not. So I feel like Knott's knows that they're not Disney, but they're not trying to be Disney.
No.
So they're trying to be something else. And so they have a new ride coming out called Hang Time.
Whoa.
And apparently this is going to be the first dive coaster on the West Coast. Super excited about this because, again, I love coasters. I love Magic Mountain as well. We're not even including Magic Mountain in the war today because they're not really opening anything exceptional at the moment.
And you get your pass revoked when you have a Batman ride and it's painted black and yellow, and that's what makes it Batman. Case end. Back to Knott's.
Well, Batman is actually well themed. I was on it the other day. Actually, we had a little private event over there, and I was on. It's actually one of the better themed rides. But we'll do a whole Magic Mountain episode.
Not my Batman.
In the future. But anyway, Hang Time, Knott's Berry Farm is opening this summer, and again, they're going for the thrill, and they're not trying to over theme it. They're not trying to go all crazy and spend $1 billion on a franchise. Knott's is like, no, hey, you know what, Disney, you go be Disney 5 miles down the road from us, and over here we're gonna knock your socks off with crazy funnel cakes and beer and
boysenberry
and roller coasters that are gonna absolutely make your hair fall out. And I love that. Like when I go on Ghost Rider, I specifically go on Ghost Rider in the back because I feel like my spine is going to come out of my body. I love wooden roller coasters. Ghost Rider is so freaking exceptional.
So it's more of a theme park, though. You're going there. I mean, I'm sorry, a thrill park than a theme park. You're going there to get scared, to feel like you're, out of your element.
Right. So dollar for dollar, there's no way Knott's is going to compete with either one of the other parks on, how much money. But I don't care. Like, that's part of why I respect them. Is like, I'll go there. I'll go get my boysenberry punch.
Yes.
I will go there and I will, have some funnel cake. I won't eat at Panda Express. That they really blew it when they
what about the fried chicken?
When they put Mrs. Knott's Chicken Restaurant. Fantastic. But in the park, they put Panda Express and Johnny Rockets. Like, come on, like that's really
right.
Like,
that's not in any other strip mall in Southern California.
Yeah, so I don't love that, but their rides are amazing. And Accelerator just also reopened. It's been closed for a long time, and I'm glad Accelerator's back. That absolutely, you got to have some real nuts to go on that ride.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I will
Let's
say
go on it, Nick.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I will. I'm in. You heard it here here to hear it first for the dudes.
Oh my
No, I am
God.
so freaked out. That's again why I go to Disneyland Universal. I am a pussy when it comes to roller coasters, but I'll get on one.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
Yeah. We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll start. We'll work our way up.
But I cannot wait to go check out that ride. Hang time.
So
Is it going to be Hawaiian too, or a little flavor of
there
aloha?
is a little aloha flavor to it. So I think you're
All
gonna
right,
like
brah.
it. So again, sorry to say, Disney has already won the theme park war. Sorry, spoiler alert. But again, people in Southern California all win because all the theme parks are spending money and doing
Yep.
things to enhance the experience. So again, everyone wins, and I really love that.
And I love this whole thing that we've talked about the theme park wars and talked about what Disney is doing, and we didn't mention the biggest news this year from Disney parks.
What's that?
Oh, so
Max Pass is only $10 as a starter rate.
shout out to MaxPass because that is actually the best bargain. I spend $10 on churros when I get there. If I could spend $10 to get to the front of the line, deal. But what I was going to say is they announced the beginning in the announcement for Marvel Land coming
Oh,
to
yes.
California
Yes,
Adventure.
yes, yes.
That
Sorry.
expansion. So I think that kind of went out with the promotion for the Avengers. They announced that California Adventure and Disney World will have the very first two Marvel theme parks.
Yeah, it's
Actually-
Marvel lands in their theme parks.
Not Orlando. Take that back. That's Hong Kong.
Oh, Hong Kong's getting it.
It's
as well.
Hong Kong and California Adventure, not Florida,
Okay.
because Universal owns the rights to Marvel. I think there.
Yes.
I think it's the other.
Ye-
Nerd alert.
Yeah,
But
yeah. You schooled us on that one. That's good.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, they're gonna have a whole Marvel section. So that means in the span of 5 years, they're gonna have Star Wars Land, Marvel Land, and a Pixar Land.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to our next topic, a very specific topic that we
Yeah.
give out once a week. Jason,
Absolutely.
who is your nomination for this week's SoliDude of the Week?
SoliDude of the week. Okay, we've been talking about theme park wars, and we already know that Disney's going to win. So my nomination for SoliDude of the week is Bob Iger. Bob Iger runs Disney. He succeeded, Michael Eisner, and Bob Iger, I think, is arguably the best leader Disney has had outside of Walt himself.
I agree.
Because he's not an ego. He's selfless. Again, this is my outside perspective. I don't work for him. I'm not in his office. Michael Eisner, I loved what he did, but he pressed his face on TV all the time. He was the face of Disney. And then in the end, his deal-making skills weren't as great. Bob Iger, you get SoliDude of the Week because you have put Disney in a class all of its own. Again,
Yep.
Nobody can touch it. I mean, at one point in the 70s, Disney was going to be parceled off like these other companies are
Yeah,
that are
absolutely.
getting disseminated, right? So Bob Iger, he gets in there, he solidifies the Pixar deal. He brings back the theme parks on spending and building. When they built California Adventure, it was built on the cheap, and that was under Eisner's watch. When Iger came in, all of these expansions have now happened. He buys Marvel. He buys Lucasfilm. Any person who follows Bob Iger at that company is going to look like a genius, even if they did nothing for
Absolutely.
the next 20 years, just because Disney is now aligned with the most giant franchises that there are: Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, Disney. Hello? It doesn't
Yep.
get any bigger than that. Who cares about Harry Potter anymore?
Absolutely.
Or Fast and the Furious? Universal, what do you got next? No one can compete with Disney in that regard.
No, they're
Bob
set
Iger,
up forever.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Shout out
SoliDude of
to
the
you,
week.
Bob.
Yep.
And you know what? I love that nomination. And, he really knows his lane. He comes in as a businessman, acquires all these IPs, and makes them Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And my new favorite one is the accusation of Fox.
Well, yeah. So they picked up, many portions of Fox.
In the streaming network, they got their stake in Hulu. He is looking to expand and moving with technology.
Yeah.
He is not standing still, Universal, and trying to play catch up. He is making moves before they even happen.
Yeah. Well, Universal, they are aligned with Comcast and NBC, but you wouldn't know because they have not put it together.
Yep.
That's also a powerhouse, but it's not helping the theme parks any.
Nope.
other than having Jimmy Fallon singing "It's a Tramtastic Day" on the tram ride. Like, what else are you really doing to bring in the power of NBC?
Right? And it doesn't really do anything for us here in, I don't know, California when he's in New York. Like, the Jay Leno would have worked way better. Sorry,
Jay
not sorry.
Leno, well, yeah, and I'm not a super Fallon fan. Like, I like some of his bits and stuff, but it's just not enough for him to be the iconography of all of NBC. Like, man,
Whoa.
good thing they didn't put in Matt Lauer, though. I mean, that's they.
So that's where they win.
That would have that would have been troublesome.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho, so congrats, Bob Iger. Hopefully, we'll see you in the park one day, and we will give you the absolute Fortress of SoliDudes salute.
Yep.
You deserve it.
You definitely get a piece of merch, Forge SoliDudes merch whenever you want.
Absolutely.
Size large, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he is kind of a fit, petite guy, so I think he could probably rock the line.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to episode 3. We will see you again very soon. It's Fortress of SoliDudes. I am J-Ry LA.
And I'm Aloha Nick.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. You can catch us. It's YouTube. It's Instagram. It's Twitter. It's Facebook. It's everything.
You know the drill.
Yeah. It's at Fortress of SoliDudes. We appreciate the support.
Peace.